to the Ravens and 49ers live commentary here on a beautiful Christmas night. The San Francisco 49ers, the Baltimore Ravens, the two best records in the NFL square off in a Monday night clash that has all the makings to be a potential Super Bowl matchup come mid-February in Las Vegas. San Francisco 11-3, about as good as they were last year when they made the NFC Conference title game and lost eventually to the Philadelphia Eagles. Brock Purdy, 9.9 yards per attempt. That is the most in the NFL's common era. The last guy to have higher than that, Sid Luckman in 1943. Since 1970, since the Super Bowl era, which we refer to everything Purdy, number one, 9.9 yards per carry, a chance to get it to 10, which is unheard of. A big reason Purdy's had such a great season, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, McCaffrey. The foursome of weapons in San Francisco's arsenal is just everything Kyle Shanahan could have, and what he loves to do is get his playmakers in space. A small tidbit, Juwan Jennings not playing today for San Francisco. We'll see the rookie Ronnie Bell operate as the third receiver in this offense. Christian McCaffrey, if not Purdy for MVP, a lot of people are screaming from the mountaintops, have it be Christian McCaffrey for MVP. 20 total touchdowns in the NFL, second in the NFL behind Raheem Mostert, and Mostert had an extra game, so we'll see if McCaffrey can get to it here. Both teams 11-3, both teams the top two best scoring defenses in the NFL. San Francisco allowing 16.7 points per game. That's good for second in the NFL. Baltimore allowing 16.1 points per game. That is good for best in the NFL. San Francisco's got the second best offense, averaging 30.4 points per game. They have a good chance to add to that and maybe take over the Miami Dolphins, who are averaging a half point higher. Baltimore, not a slouch either. Offensively, 27.4 points per game entering the day. These are the top two favorites to go to the Super Bowl. Everybody and their mother are picking either San Francisco or Baltimore to win the Super Bowl. Niners are getting a touchdown in this game. It's a total of 47.5. We're talking about San Francisco, the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is playing as exciting as anybody the NFL really has ever seen. The last couple of years, can they put it together was the question for Baltimore. They've put it together this year, and they've done it without key pieces. With J.K. Dobbins going down in the beginning of the season, the running game has still been a staple to this offense. Mark Andrews going down. Devin Duvernay, Keaton Mitchell, Ajabo, and Adarius Washington, all losses to the Ravens. San Francisco hobbled and hurdled, but with no Mark Andrews, the safety valve for Lamar Jackson, he has been as clinical as ever. Exciting, throwing the ball, running the ball, doing everything. Has the most scrambles on pass attempt plays. He's averaging over 7 yards a carry, dominating at every single level of the game as we've come to know and love for Lamar. Two great defenses, two great offenses, the best team in the NFL, maybe the two best coaches in the NFL. On a Christmas night, we get ready to go. The San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. Jake Moody puts toe to leather as we are underway, and the Baltimore Ravens will start with the football first. Taken out of the end zone by Tylan Wallace. Got hit hard and still goes up at the 20. Crossing the 30-yard line, the rookie the second-year man at Oklahoma State had a huge impact a couple of weeks ago. Walk-off touchdown to beat the Los Angeles Rams 2 weeks ago. Lamar Jackson having himself a season, running the football, throwing the football, as expected for Lamar. 741 yards on the ground, 5 rushing touchdowns. The big key, 7 interceptions through 14 games. That is what Lamar says he wants to get down, and he is doing it so far. So the Ravens will start from the 30-yard line. The number one rushing offense in the entire NFL starts from the 31. Ricard and Justice Hill in the backfield. Zay Flowers likely at the bottom, and it's Bateman at the top. They fake to Bateman and Justice Hill up the middle for a yard. It is led by Fred Warner and Javon Kinlaw. to start for the San Francisco defense. San Francisco, number 2 scoring defense in the NFL. Led by the man in the middle, Fred Warner on the outside, Chase Young, Hargrave, and then the man in on the right side, Nick Bosa, has been electric all year as ever. So it's going to be a 2nd and 9 for Baltimore. A 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard carry. Lamar's going to look to throw. Left side looking for Bateman, and it's broken up nicely. Broken up nicely there by Thomas. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 8. The San Francisco defense, that defensive line, maybe the best in the NFL. Young, Hargrave, Kinlaw, and Nick Bosa just flying around the field any chance they get and looking to make a huge impact in this game. It'll bring up a 3rd and 8 for the 49ers defense and the Ravens offense. Lamar going to look to throw again. Right side, overthrows Nelson Aguilar, and it is a 3 and out for the Baltimore Ravens offense 54 seconds into this game. San Francisco, the defense showing out here early. Lamar Jackson looked flustered on that throw. There was pressure from both sides. It was kind of a clear throw. Didn't have much. There was pressure, but it didn't look like he was affected by the throw. It was just a miss. Had Nelson Aguilar on the right side. So here's Jordan Stout, one of the NFL's better punters, averaging 48 yards a punt. On a 4th and 8 from the 33-yard line. Stout will send it away. Good punt. Backed up and fair caught by Ronnie Bell at the 11-yard line. So that's where we'll see Kyle Shanahan and this electric San Francisco offense just over a minute into the game. Brock Purdy is playing as well as anybody in the NFL. 70% completion percentage, almost 10 yards to carry, we mentioned earlier, 29 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He's leading the MVP race, and he looks to have a great encore in his biggest test, maybe, of the entire season. So here we go. San Francisco, after the good Jordan Stout punt, will start from the 11-yard line. Purdy and the offense have not had a lot of trouble the last couple of weeks. 45 against Arizona in the win last week as they work against the number 1 scoring offense. Purdy, McCaffrey, they swing him out wide, and he's able to get 2, brought down by Kyle Hamilton. But on the first play, Kyle Shanahan, his staple, his kind of patented swing plays, these motions, get the playmakers in space. McCaffrey, Ayuk, Debo, and Kittle, the foursome that have dominated San Francisco all year and have gotten them to an 11-3 record. So now, a 2nd and 7. McCaffrey, 20 total touchdowns this year. 2nd in the NFL. Purdy's going to throw over the middle, and that one played nicely there by Stevens of Baltimore, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. Coverage on the play by Brandon Stevens out of SMU, going to Kyle Juszczyk over the middle. Stevens maybe got there a little bit early as Purdy was looking for Juszczyk. Yeah, that looks to be a penalty to me. They don't call it. I don't get paid the big bucks to make that decision, so it'll bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Baltimore Ravens defense and the San Francisco offense, as the Ravens look to kind of flip the script here. 3rd and 7. Play clock's down to 0, and they get the timeout. So Shanahan and Purdy will have a little bit of extra time to think this over. 13-17 left in the first quarter, just a minute and 43 into this game. A 3 and out for Baltimore. They go to McCaffrey on the first play for San Francisco. They go to Juszczyk and an in-breaking route on the 2nd down play. Brandon Stevens was all over it. Maybe a little bit early. It was a bang-bang type play going to Juszczyk. And now a 3rd and 7. This is usually Brandon Ayuk territory. When it gets to 3rd down and 7, usually they like to go to Brandon Ayuk. We'll have to see. He has up over 1,000 yards this year. He's kind of taken over that number 1 role over Debo Samuel, although Samuel, when he's played and when he's healthy, has been just as good as advertised in previous seasons. Ronnie Bell, the rookie, Might be a big game for him with no Juwan Jennings to kind of be that option where Jennings can give you a lot of blocking and can catch a couple of balls. So San Francisco put 4 receivers out in the pattern now. McCaffrey splits out as an offset receiver, and it's going to be a 3rd and 7. Ravens send heat. Purdy over the middle. It's Kittle with space. Kittle down the right sideline. Ayuk is blocking. Hamilton trying to get to Kittle. He's brought down at the 30. And that is a huge play for the San Francisco offense, brought down by Ronald Darby. But how about that? Purdy in the offense at a 3rd and 7 connects with Kittle, and they work it all the way down to the the Baltimore 30. It's a great design. They put Debo in motion. They're going to get a lot of attention on Debo Samuel, and George Kittle is able to win the break on the free release of Marcus Williams, the safety, and there he goes, rumbling and tumbling down the right sideline, all the way down to the 28-yard line. Now, Purdy in the offense. They'll go 5 wide right here. Ravens send 4. Purdy, Kittle again to the 14, brought down by Marcus Williams. George Kittle connecting again in a big play. Another inside route, and it's a 1st down for San Francisco. Well, the Ravens with Justin Matabuke, 12 sacks on the year. They really try to get home. He almost brought him down. But Marcus Williams, early in this game, it's clear he can't cover George Kittle so far. 2 big plays when Kittle's on him. We'll see how the confidence works up for the all-pro safety from a couple of years ago. But just like that, San Francisco had a 3rd and 7. They look to be in dire need of a big play. They get it. Purdy from the 15 into the end zone. It's picked by Kyle Hamilton, and he takes it out to the 8-yard line. Purdy has only thrown 7 interceptions all year, and Hamilton comes up with a goal line pick after San Francisco was marching down and looked to be clearly in the opportunity to score and looked pretty good to do so. They usually convert. This time it's picked. They send McCaffrey out motion again. It's looking for Debo Samuel. That's a great play by Kyle Hamilton, former 1st-round pick out of Notre Dame. Great instincts on the football, looking for Samuel in the end zone. It's a classic bait by Kyle Hamilton. Intercepts it. That's why this Ravens defense is the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL, just allowing 16 points per game. So that drive, it started with a Christian McCaffrey 2-yard catch brought down by Hamilton. The second play, they went to Kyle Juszczyk, Brandon Stevens on the coverage. It was incomplete. 3rd and 7, Purdy busted off a huge catch to George Kittle for 50+. San Francisco was rolling. Purdy again to Kittle, this time for about a 12-yard gain, got San Francisco down to the 15-yard line. Usually they're clinical in this red zone. It's basically touchdown or field goal every single time, but every time it's usually a touchdown for San Francisco. This time, Kyle Hamilton picks the ball off of the Purdy throw. He was looking for Debo Samuel. He had him too, but that is a great instinct from Kyle Hamilton, who's playing maybe as good as any safety in the NFL this year. He's been outstanding this year for the Baltimore Ravens. They get lucky. Let's call it as it is. They do get a little bit of bailed out by Hamilton. There is some things Baltimore has to get better at on that defensive possession. Kittle killed them. San Francisco, they do have to be happy with what they saw. It's just a mistake from Brock Purdy. And we get caught up in, he's just so cool, the comparisons to Montana, to Burrow and Mahomes, and just in terms of his coolness, right? Not play style, but how cool he is, like a Tom Brady. He's still a 7th-round pick in his 2nd year. He's going to make mistakes. He is human, which is bizarre to say, considering his start to his career. It's basically been no setbacks. That time, a simple bait route, Kyle Hamilton able to pick it off, and now Baltimore set up in not a great field position. I think San Francisco early in this game, as we're just a couple minutes in, have to feel more confident than Baltimore, because San Francisco, unlike Baltimore, have shown they were able to get into the red zone and shown that they can run some offense. Baltimore had a 3-and-out. We'll see what this Ravens offense has to have, but that has been really the epitome of the Ravens offense or defense. Sometimes this year, the offenses are marching it down, whether it's a fumble, a sack, something that is a drive-killing play that the Ravens have been able to dial up so well this year. and they'll get the football just over 3 minutes in. That is Brock Purdy's first interception on an opening drive of his career. They go to Gus Edwards on the right side. He picks up a couple. That is Travarius Ward on the coverage. Back to that interception. They were looking on a simple post route with Deebo Samuel. Marcus Williams is going to be the high safety on the left side. Purdy saw Deebo in a little bit of a cushion. Kyle Hamilton jumped the route on the right side and picked it off. It's about as textbook an interception you can ask for Kyle Hamilton. Good news for San Francisco. That's their 13th turnover in 14 games, which is the fewest in the NFL by far. Lamar going to throw from the 12. He's got all day. And then tomorrow morning, he zips it, and Zay Flowers fell down over the middle of the field around the 26-yard line. He had Flowers, but he slipped, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5, and the Ravens on the brink of another 3 and out. This was great pass protection for Lamar. This front four of the D-line, so tough to get down and so tough to stop, but they did right there. He had Zay Flowers coming back in a little bit of a broken play. He slipped, maybe bad turf, don't know, don't want to speculate, but it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5, and Lamar to start the game is 0 for 3. So the Ravens will operate from the 12.5. Jackson outside. There's Flowers with some redemption, and he picks up the first down. So slipped on what would have been a first down anyway, gets it back anyway, and it is a first down for the Baltimore offense as they look to go some tempo here. Zay Flowers, a part of that rookie receiving unit in the NFL this year that has just been so great. You think of Jordan Addison, you think of Flowers, and Lamar, oh boy, almost was a safety. There's a flag out. If this is grounding, this is a safety for the Ravens. We'll have to see the call. This is a huge call early in this game. And if it is grounding, it occurred in the end zone. It will be a safety for the Ravens. Here it is. It is grounding, and the Niners strike first. Lamar was flushed out, led by Chase Young, who they acquired at the trade deadline. It's a safety, and San Francisco, on what has been a weird start to this game, takes a 2-0 lead. Well, the Ravens' pass rush has been great all year. They have a free runner in Fred Warner, and he just buys time. There's Bosa, there's Young, and oh boy, Lamar got tripped up by the referee. Lamar was running towards the ref. The ref fell down, and Lamar got tripped by the referee. If he wouldn't have got tripped there, who knows what would have happened. But what we do know is the Ravens are down 2-0 early. Oh boy, that's one you're going to hear for a while from Ravens fans. And I really don't blame them. Wow. Lamar tripped by the referee. The good thing about a safety, you're able to get right back out in the field. But oh boy. Now that's an interesting play. As I look at the note here on the ESPN crew, first safety in 88 games for San Francisco. And the official, that's one where he might not have a job. Or if he was in line for a playoff game or something, might not pretty darn soon. Wow, that is one. And the official kind of giving a little bit of a smirk right here. And we've seen some highlights from officials over the last couple of years. Remember last year, the Vikings, the one official ran into a Vikings defender, and the Commanders ended up scoring a touchdown off of it. Some interesting calls for some officials. I saw one play earlier this year. I think it was in college, trying to pass it over the middle, hit off the official's head. Stuff like that. Rare plays. Unfortunate. And first off, hope that ref's all right. But after the safety punt, it is dropped by Ronnie Bell, but it's out of bounds. So San Francisco gets right back out on the field. Topsy-turvy game. We're not even 5 minutes through yet. Just 10:24 left. San Francisco leads Baltimore 2-0. And the Niners, after the safety punt, will start from about the 30-yard line. Actually, we're going to call it around the 20. I think there was a penalty on San Francisco. So here we go. Brock Purdy, the interception to Kyle Hamilton. He's thrown 40 touchdowns in 20 games. Just the 7th quarterback to do it in his first 20 starts. Of course, Mahomes in that category, I'd imagine. Just taking a stab at it. And he's got McCaffrey in. It's the first carry of the game for McCaffrey. Not his first touch, but his first carry. And he gets a good one up the left side to the 35-yard line. That's going to be enough for a first down San Francisco. They've looked to McCaffrey a couple times early in this game, the first 5 minutes. The first carry. This is you put the left side of the offensive line, Trent Williams, George Kittle, able to block, get out there and block. And it's a great run by McCaffrey, who is playing like the best running back in the league. He's playing like the MVP in the NFL right now. Him and Purdy have just been on point. We mentioned the second in the NFL in touchdowns. The only reason he's not first is Mostert had an extra game yesterday. Another carry from McCaffrey. He operates the left side. There is Roquan Smith, part of that exceptional middle linebacking core with him and Patrick Queen, Brandon Stevens on the tackle again. It's going to be a gain of 5 up the left side. It'll bring up a 2nd and 5 for San Francisco. Purdy, I don't expect him to be rattled, right? Anytime a quarterback throws a pick, you expect a little bit of setback, right? A little bit of nerves setting in, but this is a guy that is just, even at college at Iowa State, has really not seen nerves at all, and he's been able to take the pressure really well. It's going to be 2nd and 5. Play clock winding down. Purdy, play action for the first time. He'll throw down the left side. It's Brandon Ayuk down to the 42. It was Stevens on the coverage, but he was late on the left sideline, and Ayuk calls it in. It's a first down for San Francisco as Purdy works off the play action. It's a great route from Brandon Ayuk. It's just a simple, 14-yard out route, and it works, right? Purdy all day, this great offensive line that's allowed him to have as much time as he really wants, especially when you're able to work off the play action like he's able to do. And Brandon Ayuk, 19 yards per catch, which he's kind of turning into the Deebo Samuel role of the last couple of years down the field threat. Purdy will lob to Kittle, and he almost caught it. It was a high point pass. There's Marcus Williams, who has not had the best of starts, but there he kind of makes up for it. It was a high point ball off the left side to Kittle. Looked like he would have made a highlight reel play. He's had a great start to the game, but Marcus Williams right there. It's a great job by Marcus Williams. I don't know if he really got a hand on it. Yes, he did. He kind of didn't get a hand on the football, but got a hand on Kittle's arm, which can definitely disrupt the whole catch process part of the things. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 10. San Francisco on the left hash at the 42. Purdy under center. He'll give to McCaffrey on the left side. Here comes CMC, brought down from behind by Matt Bouquet, who has played as well as anybody on the interior defensive line this year. Just phenomenal. The stat leaders for San Francisco: Purdy leads the NFL in yards an attempt. Ayuk leads the NFL in yards per reception. That has some correlation in there. And Deebo Samuel, most yards after the catch, leads all receivers. And George Kittle tops of the tight ends with 16 yards per reception. That San Francisco offense all kind of correlates. Purdy having the most pass yards per completion in NFL history, or yards per attempt in NFL history since 1970. You kind of have all those other numbers, not to mention McCaffrey and his doings as he gets the carry here on a 3rd and 6. It's going to be about a yard short. It's going to bring up a 4th and 1. So a decision to be made for San Francisco. On 4th and 1, not really a decision. They're going to go for this here as we approach halfway or over halfway in the first quarter. 7:17 in the first quarter and counting. It's going to be a 4th and 1. Kyle Shanahan, no decision here. He's going to go for it. He'll go for it 100 out of 100 times and probably get it about 90 out of 100. They'll go little jumbo set here. Willie Snead in the game, a little bit of a homecoming. Purdy under center. Sends Deebo in motion. They're going to go play action. Purdy is hurried, and Purdy will go down. Marlon Humphrey out of his corner spot as a flag is down, so hold your horses. But as it stands, it is a Baltimore sack. It's going to be holding on Baltimore, so that's going to give San Francisco a new set of downs. It's Ronald Darby. We've called his name a couple times today. He's made a good play on Juszczyk That one, not great, as he's going to be working on Willie Snead, former Raven himself, and at the top of the break, just holds him the whole way. A huge deflation for Baltimore. They could have gotten off the field right there. It was a great play, great coverage all around, except for the holding. You see here, Purdy getting sacked, brought down by Marlon Humphrey, but man, give San Francisco a first down at the 28. They're going to pitch Deebo Samuel's in the backfield, shades of 2021, as he's pushed out on the right side by Marlon Humphrey. Deebo is, remember 2 years ago, they in that run where they played Dallas and beat them, and then they played the Packers and beat them. It was a lot of Elijah Mitchell and Deebo Samuel, with Samuel getting about 8 to 10 touches on the ground. They don't really need to do that because they have an identity at running back with Christian McCaffrey, but it's not awful. It's not awful when you can put Deebo Samuel in, flip him the football, and see what you can get. At that time, they get 2. So it will bring up a 2nd and 8 from the 27. Purdy's got all day. It's batted at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. There's the former number 1 overall pick out of South Carolina, Jadeveon Clowney. Can you believe he's been drafted 10 years ago, back in 2013? Nope, 2014. About to be 10 years ago in a couple of days. And he bats the ball down. He's floated around the league. Houston and other places that I can't remember. Cleveland, now Baltimore, I think Tennessee a little bit. Seattle, yeah, he's floated around. And he's not played too bad here. 7.5 sacks this year. And a little bit of a career revitalization. It's going to be 3rd and 8. Purdy's got a 5-wide set. He's got time, and he throws it short on the left side for McCaffrey. So that's going to be an incomplete pass. That's going to give way to Jake Moody, the 3rd-round pick out of Michigan, who has played as well as you'd expect in a 3rd-round pick kicker. The pocket was collapsing there, and Jadeveon Clowney, to be able to work against Trent Williams, who I think is the best offensive lineman in football and has a case to be the best player in football, pretty special as you almost got home there. It's a 45-yard kick from Moody, right hash. Mitch Wisnowski's the holder. Snap, hold, kick up, and it is curving left, but it is good. And San Francisco leads 5-0 at a topsy-turvy game. The Niners in an interesting score, 5-0 on a Christmas night. Niners and Ravens. The last drive from San Francisco. Purdy, it was a 4th and 1. Sacked by Marlon Humphrey. Ravens celebrating. They're off the field. A holding call on Ronald Darby allowed for the drive to continue. And what did San Francisco do when the drive continued? Marched down the field and got a field goal. The Ravens defense so far has played really good. Besides from those couple of plays for George Kittle, this Ravens defense has been on it so far. And that's what you expect out of the number 1 scoring defense in the entire NFL, allowing just 16 points per game. But playing against San Francisco, you got to score. You have to score. Both of these offenses pretty darn good themselves. San Francisco scoring 30 a game. Baltimore scoring 27 a game. So Baltimore shown, it's only 9 minutes into the game, but they really have shown an inability to move the football. They really have not been able to get offense rolling. Can't say the same about San Francisco because they have been able to get offense rolling. Kittle, Ayuk, McCaffrey moving down the field, and they have a 5-0 lead a couple minutes into this game. We take a look at the landscape of the NFL. So we're in commercial break, TV timeout. Landscape of the NFL. We saw the Las Vegas Raiders and Antonio Pierce walk into Arrowhead. Mahomes was 17-0 against AFC West opponents November or later. 17-1 now as the Raiders take down the Chiefs 20-14. And then we also saw the Eagles sneak by the Giants. That one was a great finish. And we hope for a great game here so far. 5-0. We're back. San Francisco and Baltimore in a 5-0 game. Weird start, interesting plays. San Francisco, 4th and 1, sacked, holding by Ronald Darby, and that's a free 3 points for the San Francisco 49ers. So the Ravens down 5 will get the football back. 5:58 left in the first quarter. Ravens have not been able to move the football at all. Lamar Jackson does not have a completion yet. We'll see how long that'll take to change. It's Jake Moody. Just made the field goal. Comes on to put toe to leather and send it back to Baltimore. Tylan Wallace back deep to return. He took out the first one. Got to the 31-yard line, so this one he will not touch. That's actually Justice Hill in for it. He won't touch it anyway. So Lamar and the Ravens back out. Lamar Jackson, all he does is win every single year he's been in the NFL, winning record, and by a lot too. Not just like he's 9-8, 9-7. He's winning at a great clip, and he's never been able to get to the AFC title game. That's been his big flaw. Can he do it this year? And can he win this game on the road against San Francisco, a team, I know it's early, they might have to meet up in the Super Bowl. So Lamar and the Ravens from the 25. Gus Edwards in the backfield. They'll go play fake. Lamar in space. Zay Flowers on the right side with the speed to get past Dre Greenlaw as he rattles him out of bounds. But it's enough for a Ravens first down and the first real positive play of the game. It's a great design. They're going to go play fake with Gus Edwards. They're the number 1 running team in the NFL. They get Lamar in space, swinging out to the right side. And Zay Flowers, as we mentioned with Jordan Addison and these top receivers, Puka Nacua, has just been phenomenal. Already has the Ravens rookie record for receptions with 65, and we still got a couple of games to play. Jackson, Flowers, another catch. This time he loses 2 up the left side. Actually, he's going to lose 3 to the 35-yard line. That's played well by San Francisco. There's Deshaun Gibson Sr. making the play. 10 minutes have gone by in this opening quarter. It's been a long first quarter. That's been an interception, a fumble, a safety, touchdown. It's just been interesting. A lot of commercials in this game. We're 33 minutes into the broadcast. We're just over 10 minutes into the game, so it has been long here. The Ravens, 9 plays, 7 passes, which is rare for a run-heavy football team. Jackson's got all day to throw here, looking left side, and he'll run. He'll take it out to the left side, brought down by Fred Warner. And Jair Brown, gets a couple. It's going to bring up 3rd down. Lamar had all day on that throw, was surveying, looking around, was able to scramble to the left side, likely gave him a block, and then he was brought down, gang tackled on the left side, drug out by Jair Brown and Fred Warner. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3. Niners lead 5-0, 4 minutes left in the opening quarter. Play clock is down to 6. Lamar's got a 5-wide set from the 45-yard line at the left hash. 5 wide for Jackson. It's a 4-man rush for San Francisco. Jackson circles around, now steps up and throws down the field. Incomplete, and 2 flags come in. Likely was there, looking for it, and the coverage, and eventually the penalty from Deshaun Gibson. It'll be a 1st and 10 Baltimore after the pass interference. As we mentioned, Deshaun Gibson, the guilty parter. They were looking down the field. They had 2 receivers in the same area, Bateman and Likely, as Gibson kind of got a hold of that left shoulder, the right shoulder of Isaiah Likely and turned him around. That's about as clear as a penalty as you can have. But the great awareness and escapability of Lamar Jackson to circle around and even find a way to get the ball out. It's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Ravens. Here's Gus Edwards on the left side. Gets up to the San Francisco 30-yard line. So the first sustained drive for the Ravens really all day. As after that play with the Gibson pass interference, him and Likely jarring at each other, the taller frame of Likely as he kind of overpowers and overtowers Tashaun Gibson. Ravens starting to get something going. The number one running offense in the NFL. Lamar Jackson over 740 rushing yards. Hasn't decided to take off yet today. Or excuse me, he has. Sorry about that. Got about 10 yards. Here's a 2nd and 6. Jackson's got all day to throw. Stepping up. Harassed from behind. Throws down the field for Beckham. Incomplete, but there's a flag. And Jackson, another circus play to get that throw out. It looked like he was held from behind. I don't know if that's going to warrant a penalty, but it looks like this will be on San Francisco. Just who and what will the penalty be as the group of 6 zebras, the 6 zebras here out in the wild San Francisco grass and terrain get together and decide who they're going to call it on. Here's Bill Vinovich's call. Is a holding on the defense. Tashaun Gibson, penalties declined. There's another penalty. And it's going to be a face mask on San Francisco. How about this? Both penalties are on Tashaun Gibson. He held and had a face mask on the same play. It has not been the best game for Tashaun Gibson. He was just flagged for that pass interference for Likely. That's 3 penalties now on Tashaun Gibson in the last couple of plays. They get a face mask on him as he works on the Ravens tight end. And it's a clear face mask. He got him on the left side. Declined the holding on him. Call the face mask on him. He goes double dips as Tashaun Gibson might have Ravens money line, it seems, because he's trying his best to give the Ravens a touchdown here. 12 minutes have gone by, 3 minutes left in the first quarter. It's a 1st and 10 for the Ravens at the 15. Jackson, he's got Edwards and Hill in the backfield. Edwards to his left, Hill behind him. Jackson will give to Justice Hill. Off the left side goes Justice Hill to the 9-yard line. Brought down by a gang of Niners. It's going to be a 2nd down and about 4 as we approach under 3 minutes left in the opening quarter. They go out of that pistol set. Usually when it's pistol, they like to get Pat Ricard in the backfield. They put him up at the left side as kind of a left tackle tight end hybrid, and he does a good job blocking. And this Ravens offense mixing in the run and the pass, which they've done all year with Todd Monken, who was the great Georgia offensive coordinator, having some creativity to this team. Here's Jackson on 2nd and 5. Looking to run, and he's brought down by a host of Niners. The main players in there with Dre Greenlaw and Nick Bosa. You know Nick Bosa is amped up to play this game. I don't know why, but he is. And it's going to be a loss of about 3. They go back out 2 guys. They had Likely on the right, Edwards on the left. It was a simple option for Jackson. And he's brought down. There's 4 Niners in there, but leading it is Dre Greenlaw and Nick Bosa. So now, after this drive is starting going, it's going to be a 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8 for for Baltimore. From the 12-yard line, Jackson's going to throw. San Francisco sends heat. Here's Aguilar brought down and a great tackle on the left side by Thomas of San Francisco. And the Niners are able to get off the field. Ambry Thomas able to bring down Nelson Aguilar, and it'll be Baltimore and Justin Tucker to put 3 points on the board. They had a blitz on Jackson. They had a free rusher. Ambry Thomas does a great job. That was coming in, applying the pressure was Lenore. Demondre Lenore. 28-yard kick for Justin Tucker. With a minute left in the first quarter, of course, it's good. And the Ravens get on the board. 57 seconds left in the opening quarter. 5-3. Yes, it's been a weird game so far. If you're just joining us, what we've had so far. San Francisco were marching down the field. Kittle had a 50-yard catch. Also had a 15-yard catch. San Francisco had the ball at the 15-yard line. Brock Purdy, end zone interception. And then the Ravens had the football around the 8-yard line. Lamar Jackson scrambling, trips over the ref who fell down. Safety because of an intentional grounding in the end zone. Ravens took a 2-0 lead. Fast forward to the San Francisco possession after the safety kick. San Francisco marches down the field, gets into field goal range. Jake Moody, 5-0 San Francisco. In the most previous drive, the Ravens marched down the field on their own. Flowers. A lot of penalties from Deshaun Gibson, and it's 5-3 San Francisco. 57 seconds left in a very long and exciting first quarter. 8:52 on a beautiful Christmas Eve, or excuse me, Christmas Day. Christmas Day here where I'm from in the eastern part of the country. The old vocal cords are getting tested so far. 40 and a half minutes into this broadcast. It's been fun. It's been a good combination of great defense, great offense, great game plans. Interested to see San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan's offense when he rolls back out on the field. Of course, he won't roll out on the field because he's the coach. This is an offense that goes pre-snap penalty or goes pre-snap movements 76% of the time. It's number one in the NFL. They like to see what formation you're in. They like to move your guys out there, go little funky formations, and they'll get the football back just under a minute left in the opening quarter. So far, stories of the game, Deshaun Gibson causing a lot of penalties here early. He's caused 3, 2 of them have been accepted. Lamar Jackson kind of been hemmed in by this 49ers offense. Like to see some more play action, get him out in space. And then George Kittle has had himself an amazing first quarter, racking up yards left, right, and center. So we're just about ready to get back going here in Santa Clara, California. The Niners and the Ravens, the two top contenders to go win the Super Bowl this year. San Francisco, the favorites. Baltimore, second, not too far off. Both teams have run 14 plays. San Francisco is about tripled Baltimore in terms of yards. San Francisco with 120. Ravens with 40. The Tucker kick goes into the back of the end zone. So it's Purdy and the offense back out in the field again. Good first drive. They were able to work it to the 15-yard line, the interception. Then the next drive, a 4th and 1, Purdy takes a sack penalty that allowed them to get to the field goal and make it 5-3. So, as we get ready for the third San Francisco drive, Baltimore has to feel happy about how they've played in terms of allowing not that many points given the circumstances. They'll start from the 25. They got trips on the left side. McCaffrey splits out now as a receiver about 5 yards off the ball, as Purdy will be 5 wide. Samuel in motion as well. Baltimore sends heat. Purdy over the middle. It's Kittle again. He's able to beat Marlon Humphrey up to the 45, brought down by Kyle Hamilton. But on the first play of this drive, they bust off 20 yards and another great pickup for George Kittle as Brock Purdy was able to find him over the middle of the field for a first down Niners. They sent Deebo Samuel in motion, and it's just the anticipation of Brock Purdy. He saw George Kittle in the middle of the field, basically wide open on an in-breaking route. He found the seam. There was 3 Ravens kind of in a triangle. Kittle was in the middle of that triangle. He's got 91 yards, George Kittle, so far in this first quarter. McCaffrey batters his way up the middle, pushed back by Marcus Williams, and that'll put an end to this first quarter. Fun first quarter, back and forth, safety, ref falling, and whatnot. It's the end of the first quarter. Let me catch my breath. I'll give you a recap of the first quarter and what we expect to see in the second quarter. Give me about 10 seconds here, guys. So, a recap of what we saw. San Francisco got the ball first on the opening drive. They did not get the ball first. My bad. Baltimore got the ball first on the opening drive. The Ravens went 3 passes, all 3 of them incompletions. And then San Francisco got the football. Kittle over the middle, 50-plus yard gain, first down. Kittle over the middle, 15-yard gain, first down. San Francisco quickly has worked the ball into the 15-yard line. Purdy throws over the middle, picked off by the second-year pro out of Notre Dame, Kyle Hamilton. Then Baltimore, after the Hamilton return, got the ball to about the 8-yard line. On the opening play of the drive, Lamar stumbles, backs up, spins. He's in his own end zone, running to the left side. The ref falls down. Lamar runs the ref's way, trips over him, has to throw the ball. It's grounding in the end zone. Ref puts his hands above his head. Safety. San Francisco leads 5-0. 2-0. They get the ball. Ronnie Bell fumbles it out of bounds. San Francisco starts. They're able to orchestrate a drive. Drake Moody, 45-yard kick. Money. San Francisco leads 5-0. And then Baltimore, down 5, is able to answer with a drive of their own. A little bit of Lamar running, a little bit of luck with Tashawn Gibson, who was called for 2 penalties on that drive. 3 penalties he was called. 2 of them were accepted. They were able to put down for a 28-yard Justin Tucker kick, and that is what we've gotten so far. 5-3. I don't know if that's the most obvious in average score, but this is not an average game, so not complaining in the slightest. 8 points in that first quarter, but it was wild as could be. Hoping for some of the more here in the next 3. That first quarter took 45 minutes. Man, that was long. Let's go for a little less conversation, a little more action here. So San Francisco will have it. And they will have a second down to start the second quarter. San Francisco 5, Ravens 3, start of the second quarter. It's a 2nd and 7 for the 49ers. They had 140 yards in that first quarter compared to the Ravens' 42. Niners playoffs again, 3rd straight year, 4th and 7 for Shanahan. And we'll see what they dial up to start the second quarter. They're going to work from the 48-yard line on the left hash. Purdy's going to be out of the gun with Samuel in the backfield. Purdy going to throw. He's got a 4-man rush all day. Looks left side. Samuel comes back to the football, and he's able to make the adjustment with Brandon Stevens all over him. It's enough for a San Francisco first down on a 2nd and 7. They put Samuel in the backfield. He's just got a simple wheel route, little out and up concept. He's going to come back to the football. A little bit of a push off against Brandon Stevens. If you're a Ravens fan, that's a penalty. If you're a Niners fan, it's clean. Nonetheless, first down, San Francisco now from the 38-yard line. Purdy under center with McCaffrey in the backfield. Kittle, Juszczyk, Ayuk, and Samuel, the receivers. It's batted at the line and intercepted by Marlon Humphrey. Brandon Stevens, who struggled today, bats it at the line of scrimmage, and it falls into the hands of the Pro Bowler, Marlon Humphrey, with his interception, and the Ravens have picked off Purdy for the for the second time in 16 minutes of football. They're going to try to run a screen. It's a little RPO. Brandon Stevens reads it beautifully. Purdy wanted play action, wanted to go to the left side of Samuel. Brandon Stevens with the hops to pick that football off, and then Marlon Humphrey to just have himself in the right place at the right time. Gives Baltimore a short field, and the turnovers for this number 1 scoring defense have just been what the doctor ordered so far. They're going to keep it on the ground on this first play of the drive. Justice Hill, left side, gets 2, brought down by Greenlaw and Lenore. Marlon Humphrey, blessed to see that ball on a Christmas day. That ball jumped right into his arms after the Brandon Stevens tip ball. Purdy now 2 interceptions, which he's been rock solid all year. Just 7 on the entire year. 2 today. 2 today, which is pretty appalling. But this Ravens defense, as good as advertised. It's going to be a 2nd and 8 from the 49. Lamar's going to play fake RPO, and there's Rashad Bateman over the middle of the field. A nice design to get to Bateman, and he gains a good amount of yards up to the 36-yard line. And what Kyle Shanahan loves to do, what John Harbaugh loves to do, the RPO, that time it wasn't picked like Brock Purdy, but it's going to go for a good solid chunk over the middle of the field. They run the RPO concept. The middle of the field's wide open. You're able to freeze Fred Warner, the middle linebacker. They're able to freeze him right in the middle of that play. And right when Lamar saw he was frozen, he knew Bateman's going to streak open. They go to Flowers as a screen on the left side. They had Stanley out there to block, and Flowers gets a couple. About 4 for Zay Flowers to bring up a 2nd and 6. Coming up at halftime, we'll recap some stuff that has happened in the rest of the NFL. Still got a long way to that. 12 and a half minutes till halftime. 2nd and 4 for Jackson. He goes with another RPO. There's Zay Flowers on the right side. Makes a man miss. Makes another miss. 2 jukes from Zay Flowers, the joystick. And he's able to pick up a first down on the right side. Call it a gain of 9. It was a great design. Lamar out of the gun. They send Ricard in motion. Fake to Justice Hill. Here's Zay Flowers. A little whoop on Dre Greenlaw. A little whoop on Fred Warner. And enough for a first down to the 20. This kid's going to be special. I said it so long. You want to win games in the AFC, you got to get him out now. Because you give Lamar this kid for the next couple of years, it's going to be tough. From the 21. It's a 4-man rush. Lamar's going to throw. Left side. Coming back to it. Bateman had it. Looked to run, and then he forgot the ball. A classic case of running before he even got the football. That was going to be a 9-yard gain. Instead, it's 2nd and 10. A simple comeback route on the left side. They hit Zay Flowers open. They also had Rashad Bateman open. He just dropped the football, the first-round pick out of Minnesota from a couple of years ago. And classic case of maybe hearing a little bit of footsteps coming from behind him with Ambry Thomas behind him. 2nd and 10. 11:40 left in the half. Lamar going to throw again. A 4-man rush. Dumps it off to Justice Hill out of the backfield, and he gets harassed by Dre Greenlaw, grabs him by the neck and wrestles him down. It'll bring up a 3rd and manageable. The Ravens, the number 1 running offense in the NFL, throwing the football a lot to start this game. Fred Warner has gotten 4 interceptions on the year. I think far and away the best linebacker in the league. 3rd and 4. Lamar going to throw again. He goes over the middle. It's caught by Beckham. It's going to be enough for a first down at the 9-yard line. Odell Beckham with his first grab of the afternoon or night, wherever you live. And it's enough for a 1st and goal for the Ravens. Ravens moving the football after the interception by Marlon Humphrey. They go with Justice Hill in motion. They send Odell. Just a simple concept on the smash route. 2 mesh players coming over in Odell. Now Lamar goes play fake. This one was batted at the line by Fred Warner. There was no guy on the rebound like Brandon Stevens and Marlon Humphrey. So it'll be 2nd and goal. And this feels like a game where San Francisco, they've thrown 2 picks, right? They still got 5 points in the game. This is a touchdown in the red zone type of game. San Francisco, 0 points in the red zone on that one drive where Purdy threw a pick. You got to get 7. You have to win the red zone point value. You already got 3 once in the red zone. You got to punch this in for 7 if you want to compete with San Fran. Lamar going to throw again. It's a 4-man rush. Takes a peek, looks left side, throws back corner of the end zone, back of the end zone, not the corner, looking for Beckham, and it's incomplete. Ambry Thomas is there, and Odell jarring in with a San Francisco player. Lamar looking at the video board, hoping for a penalty, doesn't get one. It's going to be 3rd and goal for the Ravens. They got 3 points in their back pocket. Tucker, automatic from this range, really automatic from any range. They got Jair Brown, rookie this year, 3rd-round pick. Hufanga out, ACL, all-pro safety. They're missing him. Play clock's down to 0, and it looks like it's going to be a false start is the initial reaction from, the Ravens got a timeout, so It looked like Zeitler jumped, but they credit the Ravens with a timeout. So it'll be 3rd and goal. And then if you go into the red zone twice, you only get 6 points. San Francisco, look, they've struggled offensively so far, right? They still are scoring over 30 points a game. They're still scoring over 30 a game. You can't leave points on the board, and if they do here, they'd have left 8 points on the board. San Francisco, a half game up right now, can go a full game up. They could clinch the 1 seed next week with a win and a little bit of help. I don't even think help. I think a win clinches them the 1 seed next week. 3rd and goal for Lamar and the Ravens. He'll throw. It's a 4-man rush. He steps up over the middle, likely gets it down to the 2-yard line through the middle of the field, and a decision to be made. And what does John Harbaugh want to do? He's looking into that call sheet, and we'll see what the Ravens want to do. Time being, the offense is out there. It's going to be a 4th and goal from the 2. What a huge play here on a 52-yard drive that stretched over 4 minutes. It's 4th and goal from the 2. Under 10 minutes in the half. Ravens 3, Niners 5. This is a huge play. No receivers on the field. Likely and Ricard join Edwards and Jackson in the backfield. It's Edwards up the middle and into the end zone for a touchdown. Ravens. They go jumbo pistol set. The Ravens love to do it. Gus Edwards right up the middle. The Gus bus gets in and puts the Baltimore Ravens on top 9-5. And Dolly Parton, I don't know. That was an awful attempt at a joke. They're going to load it. They're going to go jumbo. Likely Ricard right next to Jackson with Edwards. Look, not many coaches got the guts to go run it on 4th and 2. They love to play action, the pass, the run. It's really risky because when you don't do it, they're going to clown you. When you do it and you do it successfully, it is probably more successful than a pass. So the Ravens take a 10-5 lead. They've doubled up the Niners so far in this one. A nice drive from Baltimore. Gives them a 10-5 lead. Well, that was a drive to remember for Baltimore, and that's something you got to look back on. 11 plays, solid as can be, against the number 2 scoring defense in the NFL, who have playmakers all over the field. They didn't look really once in that drive like they were scared, like they were desperate, like they needed something, like they were in some type of hurry. They looked cool, calm, and collected, and it worked. Okay, it worked to the tune of a 10-5 lead now for the Baltimore Ravens. You go into San Francisco, and look, Baltimore, it's clear they are the clear favorites for the 1 seed. Even if they're going to lose to Miami next week, which that could definitely be the game for the 1 seed, Ravens Dolphins. You win this game, it gives you a cushion. Right, it gives you a cushion for the number 1 seed. That even if the Ravens lose to Miami, they can still claim the 1 seed. If they go 2-1 and the Dolphins finish out the Dolphins go 1-1 to finish out the regular season, Baltimore gets that prestigious first-round bye. Approaching an hour here on this live stream. It's been fun. It has been a very fun game. Pleasure to join this. Merry Christmas to all y'all. I'm going to take a break when it comes to halftime. We'll start the live stream right back up for the second half of action. This is a first half live stream. We'll be right back up. I'll catch my breath about 5 minutes before halftime gets back starting. We'll be back on. But this has been living up to the billing. Look, it's not a shootout so far. 10-5, they've scored, right? They've scored points. It's not an absolute shootout, but this is a case of 2 really good offenses against two really good defenses and two really good coaches calling two really good games. They're back from commercial, 9:35 left in the half. Ravens lead the 49ers 10-5. It was Gus Edwards who has scored. If you're just joining us, scoring summary started with a San Francisco forced safety on an intentional grounding by Lamar. Then San Francisco marched down. Jake Moody, 5-0 on a kick. Then Baltimore marched down. They made it 5-3. Then Baltimore off the Brandon Stevens bat to Marlon Humphrey. Pick. They move down. They get a touchdown. It is 10-5, and that's where we'll see Brock Purdy get going from the 25 as Tucker's kick was for a touchback. This Ravens defense, they are legit, and this is why a lot of people are calling the Ravens the best team in the NFL, and you got a real case to it tonight. Defensively, best in the league. Offensively, dangerous. Not many teams can win the game offensively or defensively and suffocate you. So from the 25 goes Purdy. McCaffrey in the backfield on the right side. They give it to him. They've lacked a lot of McCaffrey. He gets blown up. Middle of that defensive line, man. Big 96. Washington brings him down. This is a heavy defensive line. And they're going to let you know about it. Broderick Washington. 6'2", 315. I mean, Brett Urban, 6'7", 309. Michael Pierce, one of the biggest players in the NFL. 6 foot, 355. They're big, they're tall, they're strong. 2nd and 8. Purdy's going to go play action. He's got time. He dumps it to Samuel in the flat. Hamilton can't bring him down. Mabuke can't bring him down. And then Hamilton gets a rebound on him after he fell. And also brought down by Roquan Smith. It'll bring up a 3rd down. And this Ravens defense, gang tackling, running to the football, has been the theme of this game. San Francisco averaging 7 yards after the catch. They're up over that today, but that's highly inflated by George Kittle's big catch. In this game, the short passes have not gone down the field. The passes that have been able to develop into downfield throws are the ones that are the downfield throws. It's not like they're going short and picking it up. 3rd and 5, Purdy going to throw. He's got time. There's a flag down. He's looking to get away. Adafioye, another flag down as Purdy circles back, throws. It's batted in the air and intercepted again. Kyle Hamilton, if it stands, it's a 3rd interception of the day for Purdy and the 2nd for Hamilton. We'll see what the flag is, but this has been a nightmare start for Brock Purdy in this offense. And it's a chop block on the Niners. The interception stands. Insult to injury. 15 yards added after where he was intercepted. And Brock Purdy has thrown 3 first-half interceptions. When entering the game, he's only thrown 7. This is a great job all around. Purdy had to look all over the field. He had to circle back. The pressure able to get to him to force a bad throw. The coverage is perfect. Marlon Humphrey has played himself a great game, and it falls right into the hands of Kyle Hamilton. The 2nd tipped interception of the game for Baltimore. And this defense has a chance, and it reminds a lot of people, and I don't know if they're there yet, of that 2001 defense, those older Ravens defenses. They suffocate you. They suffocate you. I mentioned how big they are on the interior. Madubuike has been maybe the best defensive lineman in the NFL this year. He's been all over the place. This is a no-fly zone type of team. They suffocate you in the passing game. Although San Francisco has been able to burst off a couple of runs. I'm telling you, man. This Ravens defense makes it so easy for their offense. In this game, the Ravens have scored 10 points. All 10 of those points can be attributed because of a turnover. All 10 of them can be attributed because of a turnover. And they're not like like the Browns, the Cleveland Browns, who also have a really good defense. They have Joe Flacco, who I can't trust. He's been great. Joe Flacco's been great. They have Lamar Jackson. right? They have weapons. They have Zay Flowers. This combination for Baltimore, look, everybody, San Francisco is a touchdown favorite. San Francisco is the big bad dogs that couldn't be beaten ever, right? Like they were so hyped up. And you see right here, Baltimore has taken it to them. This is the recipe that the rest of the NFL and especially the NFC is going to have to get used to here. Defensively, this is how you suffocate San Fran. To San Francisco's benefit, top contenders in the NFC. Detroit, not a great defense. Philly, not a great defense. Dallas, a good defense. Tampa is a solid enough defense. And then, like, Tampa and the Rams, are they really contenders? Because the Rams, not a great defense. So, lucky for the Niners, the better defenses, Baltimore and Cleveland, and they're in the AFC. But this has been a perfectly cooked recipe from Kyle Shanahan. The Ravens work the ball all the way down to the red zone already. And they have it. 7:54 left, up 5, 10-5. Lamar out of the gun. He will hand it off, and it's brought down, and the Nick Bosa right there. It's going to be a loss of 3. Justice Hill, and a textbook play by Nick Bosa as he's able to sumo wrestle him down. Nick Bosa, a game wrecker all over the field, known as a pass rush player, but can affect the run really like none other. And it brings him back. And if the Niners can force this Ravens defense Ravens offense to only 3, that's a huge win. 2nd and 13. Lamar, it's a 4-man rush. Over the middle, that pass had a little bit of too much mustard on it. It was Zay Flowers who couldn't haul it in. He was looking over the middle, too fast of a throw from Lamar to the rookie. He came too quick at him. It was also only like a 4-yard air throw. So that was a fastball right at him, and it's 3rd and 13 after the Zay Flowers drop. But again, just clean pockets for Lamar. He had a clean pocket there. Clean pockets for Lamar Jackson has been the key of this game and has been the story of this game. He's got 18 pass attempts, only 70 yards. So San Francisco's done a good job to hem him in. Another drop from Zay Flowers. And he had that left side for about 3 or 4 yards if he would have caught it. And a golden opportunity after the interception is only going to turn into 3 points. So the way San Francisco is playing, if you would have told me Brock Purdy's got 3 interceptions and this Ravens defense is suffocating, how many are you down by? I say 17, 20. We're going to be down by 8. So they got to consider themselves lucky. Just over 7 minutes left in the first half. Justin Tucker has not hit a kick over 51 yards. This one's only 41, though, and he's put it in. So the Ravens lead 13-5, but you got to have an interesting feeling in your stomach. I mentioned, what would I think if that would happen? The Niners be down. Ravens should be up, 17, 20 points. They're up 8. Both of the scenarios, both teams, 1 seeds in the AFC. They've gone to commercial break, TV timeout. In this one, both teams, the 1 seeds in their respective conferences. San Francisco, a game up. Baltimore, a game up. So this can turn into huge. If Baltimore loses, they are the same record. Are they? Yes, they are. They are. Excuse me. They are the same record as the Miami Dolphins would set up for the game of the year next week, with all the implications. Who's going to get the 1 seed, Miami or Baltimore, and Miami can really lock up the division with a win and some help next week. Although Buffalo, also in the division, plays New England. San Francisco on the other end, a win here puts them a whole game up. A loss, they're tied, right, with Dallas, or excuse me, not with Dallas, with Detroit and Philly, which Philly's schedule's soft the rest of the year. It is Cardinals and Giants. San Francisco's schedule is soft, the Commanders and the Rams. So both of these teams look in line to get the number one seed in each of their conferences. But at the same time, nobody really knows, especially whoever loses this game is tied for the one seed. So, being tied for the one seed with 2 games left, you could look at it and say, okay, San Francisco will be 10-point favorites against the Commanders or whatever, and they'll be 8-point favorites against the Rams or whatever. They should win those two. But, we saw today the Chiefs were 11.5-point favorites. They lost. So it's the NFL. Anything can happen. My plans coming up Saturday night. I'll be right back here. Detroit and Dallas, Cowboys and Lions, Saturday night, 8:15 p.m. We'll get it rolling. The game starts at 8:15. We'll be on a pregame around 8:10. Same type of live stream here. If you enjoy it, come have a good conversation and enjoy some of this commentary, or don't enjoy it. If you think it sucks, can't tell you're wrong. Big game next week, Dallas and Detroit. Saturday, 8:15 Eastern Time. Christmas night in San Francisco. The jolly old man, not too happy if he's a Niner fan. Ooh, Dr. Seuss bars are coming out. 13-5. Ravens lead the Niners. 7:03 left in half. Justin Tucker will kick it deep, and it will be returned by Deebo Samuel, looking for a spark for San Francisco. He takes it to the right side to the 33-yard line, and that's where the San Francisco 49ers will start. Brock Purdy, 3 interceptions, which that opens up a whole new discussion. And I'm just thinking of this now. Who would be the MVP if Purdy continues down this track? Of course, if he can come back and win the game, he could probably still be in line for it. But he was all but, I think, locked up if he would have had a couple of good games and good performances. 3 interceptions is not what the doctor ordered for San Francisco, for Purdy, or for Purdy MVP better. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, San Francisco, good field position. 3 interceptions in the first half for Purdy. 2 of them on tip balls. And they'll start from the 33-yard line. Under center is Purdy with McCaffrey in the backfield. He'll give it to him on the right side. And McCaffrey gets about 2. Matabuke and Marlon Humphrey there on the defense. 6.5 minutes left in the half. I'll take a break at halftime. Come back for the second half, of which is expected to be a good finish between these two ball clubs that are tops of their conferences and the best matchup record-wise in terms of win percentage week 8 or later the NFL has seen. So it's fun enough, right? Probably, yeah. 2nd and 7 for San Francisco to the 36-yard line. Samuel's in the backfield. McCaffrey comes in motion, and now Purdy's looking to throw. Now he thinks about McCaffrey. Now he throws it to him on the left side, and there goes CMC bouncing off of defenders, and Roquan Smith brought him down on the left side. It was looking like a setup for McCaffrey. He was on the right side, came in motion all the way to the left, and they set up blockers on the left side for him. But really, the Ravens and Brent Urban were all over it. And Purdy had to improvise, and he did just that. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short. A huge play here for San Francisco early in this game. Seeing if they can get this drive keep going. And if they don't, what does Baltimore have in store on the other end? From the 43-yard line, and whistles come in. We get a timeout called by Kyle Shanahan. Doesn't like what he saw. It's the second charge timeout for San Francisco. Rundown of this game. Scoreboard looking at it. If you're just joining us, Ravens 13, Niners 5. Ravens got 2 timeouts. Niners got 1. Approaching halftime. 5:31 is left until half. In a interesting enough score. 13-5. Why not, San Francisco were really waiting for them to wake up, really, just to kind of see them wake up in this game, which we haven't seen so far. They had the safety, and they had the field goal on the back of the safety, but since then, haven't been much. 3rd and 1. They're going to go tush push. And he's going to pick it up. Not really a tush push, just a sneak, an old-fashioned sneak. And Brock Purdy's going to pick up the first down as they work it to the Niners logo around the 45-yard line. Already a career high of interceptions for Purdy, 3 in this game. Again, we mentioned he came in only throwing 7. Now he's got 10. That makes the MVP all that more enticing for 2 weeks left. A lot of guys are left in the discussion. Tyreek Hill and Tua and Dak and McCaffrey and Purdy and Josh Allen. There's so much to be discovered the last 2 weeks. Purdy, play action fake. Going to go to McCaffrey over the middle. And there goes CMC making a man miss. Brought down by the studs linebacking duo of Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. It'll bring up a 2nd and 2. Right there, again, Baltimore is fine not letting you throw down the field. If you're San Francisco, they don't want you throwing down the field. And you're fine with it too if you're the Niners. We'll take you, we'll beat you, we'll beat you, we'll beat you. Sooner or later, you got to play up on us, and then we hit you deep. They really haven't thrown it down the field in this game. 2nd and 2. Purdy's going to go I formation with Juszczyk and McCaffrey. They'll go to McCaffrey on the left side. Here comes CMC. He's got a hole. 30, 25, 20, 15, down the sideline to the 10. McCaffrey busts off a big cane on the left side, and it's going to bring up a first down and the biggest run of the day from either squad. And that is where we said, can San Francisco wake up? Boom, right there. Well, they're going to bring in Kyle Juszczyk, right? And Deebo Samuel's a great blocker. Juszczyk, boom, he hits the first block, and then Samuel hits the second block, and McCaffrey's able to take it, tightrope that left sideline, get a couple extra yards. It's going to set up a 1st and goal for the Niners. 3:35 and a half. Under center again is Purdy with McCaffrey, the lone tailback. They'll go right back to him. The hot hand of McCaffrey, and CMC lunges his way in a statement drive led by McCaffrey. And we're speaking about the MVP race. Can this guy win it? A 9-yard touchdown scamper, and San Francisco's a 2-point conversion away from tying, or they just go with the extra point to make it a 1-point game and don't chase points too early. We'll see the decision, and it will just be to kick and make it a 13-12 game. But Christian McCaffrey, the big cane on the left side, they give it right back to the hot hand. And McCaffrey, his 21st touchdown of the year, ties Raheem Mostert for most in the NFL. And McCaffrey still got a half of football and then some. Jake Moody, it's a high snap, and he puts it down. And San Francisco, a big drive. Purdy's thrown 3 picks. Why not? Let's go to Christian McCaffrey. And they did a great job. I mean, that's a great job. It's a really, setting the scheme of this thing for San Francisco. They were throwing it all over the yard. Hey, we're the Niners. We can run the ball with Christian McCaffrey, and that's what Kyle Shanahan loves to do, is run the football. Just over 3 minutes left in the first half. What has been a long first half. A lot of interesting plays coming up. Halftime. We'll take a break. I'll recap the first half. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the second half. And then we'll finish this thing out. What has been a fun game. 13-12. So let's talk about this game. San Francisco, Shanahan could go all different ways. And this is a great run defense for Baltimore. Justin Madubuike, Michael Pierce, everybody on the inside and the interior defensive line, they're big, they're strong, and they can move. Kyle Shanahan able to get the running game going, which they weren't able to get because they weren't going to it, right? They were by choice not getting the running game going. Now they're able to get this running game going and instill more confidence in Brock Purdy, which I think is huge because at the end of the day, we said it early in the broadcast, he's still a second-year player that was a 7th-round pick. We always think, okay, he's an MVP, blah, blah, blah. He's cool, he's calm, and he is, right? Still a second-year player who's a 7th-round pick at the end of the day. So let's, he can get rattled. And so far here, he's been rattled. But, the best part of being rattled, deferring your fears to somebody else. And who's that somebody else? Christian McCaffrey, and he's the best running back in the NFL, and San Francisco was able to march down. For Baltimore, it shows that the defense can be beat. They can be beat some way or another. And that was the recipe in the first half. Pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock against Baltimore. Defensively, the Ravens have to sell out for the run more. They got great corners. They can cover, right? They have to sell out for the run more. Offensively for Baltimore, run the ball more as well. These are two at heart running teams. Purdy and Lamar, they're great. They're phenomenal. At heart, they're running football teams. We'll see if they get back to it. 3:23 left in the first half. We get right back going. Ravens 13, Niners 12. 2 timeouts for Baltimore, timeout for the Niners. Jake Moody's kick will not be returned by Justice Hill. So here comes Lamar. A lot of their points off of turnovers, and we'll see. It's a tale of two sides. It's a tale of two sides. If you're Baltimore, you're saying, man, we're playing great. We got 3 turnovers against the best offense in the NFL. And if you're San Francisco, you're like, we're against the best defense in the NFL. We've turned the ball over 3 times against Lamar Jackson. We're down by 1. So depending, who you're rooting bias stands. You think you're having a good first half. But the Ravens have the lead on the scoreboard, and Lamar will go play action of Edwards. He's got time. He throws it left side, caught by Bateman. And that's a good 21-yard gain up to the 46-yard line. Rashard Bateman, first-round pick out of Minnesota, still waiting for him to find a rhythm. There is a flag down, so hold your horses. And it's going to be a hands to the face on the offensive line. Josh Simpson, the guilty counterpart, or guilty part. And that's going to negate the 21-yard play from Rashad Bateman. And it's the guard, Simpson. Well, that's been twice now. Big plays, right? Purdy sacked earlier. Penalty. Gives the Ravens the ball back. And then right here, Simpson with the illegal hands to the face. It's going to bring up a 1st and 20. Lamar going to throw again. Getting away. Now on his horse. Now he throws, and it's caught by Likely. Or is it? Did it skip in? Is the question they're going to have to answer here. Lamar was rolling left, and he was able to find Likely after he does a good job of evading. And we're going to see here, they're showing the replay right now, and that's going to be a catch. Isaiah Likely, the promising second-year tight end, filling in for Mark Andrews. That is a catch and not a first down, but a catch. So 2nd and 7, they go to Flowers on the right side, in space for a first down, Ravens. And that looks like it will be the 2-minute warning. Ravens 13, Niners 12, Ravens moving. They wouldn't mind anything else than to go out here and get a end of the half touchdown. 2 minutes left in the half. In a long first half, that is Ravens 13, Niners 12. It's lived up to the billing. Lived up to the billing so far. Baltimore doing what they do. Playing great defense. They've only allowed 11 points, right, in this game. But they got 3 turnovers. They got 3 turnovers, and they're only up by a point. In my judgment, so far through 28 minutes of play, San Francisco is the better football team. San Francisco is the better team early in this game and we're approaching about midway in the game. They're playing better because Baltimore, with the 3 turnovers, are up by 1. San Francisco, despite the 3 turnovers, are down by 1. 2 of them are tip balls, right? That is kind of a luck play. I don't want to take anything away from it, as I kind of am right now. It's a luck play. The interception from Purdy when he threw the first one to Hamilton, that was not a luck play. These last 2 tip balls, more of a luck kind of play. And if Baltimore, they can go up, take an 8-point lead, and enter the locker room, that'll be great. San Francisco will get the ball starting the second half. If you're San Fran, look, I've muttered it a couple of times. You have played an awful first half. You're down one. Down one in an awful first half. Not too bad to me. Baltimore, you haven't played the best first half either. But are you going to get 3 turnovers again in the second half? Maybe, but not likely. For San Francisco, it's more plausible that McCaffrey's going to run the ball good than San Francisco is going to get 3 turnovers. Then Baltimore is going to get 3 turnovers. So I think both of these teams are showing their quality, right? A lot of times in the NFL, a mistake is made, somebody gets to be blamed, right? For everything that happens, somebody's to blame for it. But here, I think it's just 2 great teams playing great football. They're back from commercial break. Ravens football up a point on a Christmas night. Just past 9:35 on the East Coast. Two minutes left in the first half. Ravens from the 38-yard line. Lamar out of the gun. He's thrown a lot today in the first half. Niners bring pressure. Lamar looking to get out of it, and he cannot. He threw the ball at the last second. It looked like he was down, and he was. So it's going to be a sack. Javon Hargrave, the former Eagle, from his interior defensive lineman spot, sacks Lamar Jackson. It was a bang-bang play. It was one of those plays where he was about to go down, and he threw it away. San Francisco brought pressure the whole way. And, yep, that looks clear that Lamar Jackson was indeed down. Very clear. Lamar Jackson was down. So now it's going to bring up not a great spot for Baltimore. Jackson. Nick Bosa went down. He's got all day to throw. Now he rolls out to the left side, looking to buy time, and it's batted at the line. And it's Javon Hargrave again. Javon's getting involved early. And now late in the second quarter, Zay Flowers doing some pointing here. There's a flag down. And it's holding on the defense. So Ambry Thomas is the guilty part. He's the culprit. And that's going to give him a first down. Zay Flowers was going up towards his route, and Ambry Thomas just grabbed a hold of him, essentially. It's going to get called every time, and penalties for San Francisco now piling on like they did in the first quarter. So it's a 1st and 10 after that penalty gave him an automatic first down from the 37. It's a 4-man rush. Jackson going to throw again. He sidearms it short to Justice Hill as he scampers out of the right side out of bounds for 3 yards. It stops the clock with 1 minute and 6 seconds left, and the Baltimore Ravens have worked it up to the 40-yard line. 2 timeouts for the Ravens, 1 minute 6 left, up by a point left in this first half. So it's 2nd and 8 after the 2-yard gain, up to the 40. 60 yards from a touchdown. Probably only about 15 from a Tucker field goal. Niners send the house. They go to Beckham quick on the right side. Caught. And it's enough for a first down for Baltimore. Just wastes 4 seconds. Beckham picks up the first down on the out route. And the Ravens are moving again. Now that time they're able to get it all the way up to up across the 50-yard line. And Justin Tucker, although 51 plus, he's 0 for 4 this year, still you trust his leg from 55, 50 plus. 1 minute 2 left. Niners send 4. Jackson going to throw again. rolling to his right side, throws down the field. He's got his man, and it's enough for a first down and then some. And then clock continuing to run with 45 seconds left. That was a tight end there. And Jackson on a 1st and 10 to the 35. Flags down. He goes left side to Aguilar. Gets a couple. That's the tight end, Charlie Kohler. Not much action so far. And this is a big penalty. Ravens called for a face mask on Ronnie Stanley, the all-pro tackle. So that'll set him back a bit. Rare to see an offensive face mask penalty, but it's been a weird game. Any game that has a safety could have anything happening. Ronnie Stanley was working on the edge. Looks like Randy Gregory there. And he got a clip of that face mask. So it's 1st and 25 now. It's been a lot of those drive-killing plays, whether it's a big sack, a holding, a penalty, or really anything. Lamar's thrown the football 24 times. It's only been 3 carries with Gus Edwards. We'll expect John Harbaugh to change that. They go from the 50 with 34 seconds. It's another 4-man rush. Jackson again evading and throwing right side for Zay Flowers. Caught. And they get a good chunk of that back, about 10 back. Brings up 2nd and long still, but better than 1st and 25. Another great job by Lamar, evading on that right side, finding Zay Flowers, and little toe drag swag from Zay Flowers, 1st-round pick out of Boston College. 7 catches for 53 yards. They get 9 on that play. Jackson with Hill at the backfield. He's at the San Francisco 41. He throws right side. It's too tall for Likely. That's saying much for his 6'6" frame. And it's going to be 3rd and 16. This will be a 58-yard field goal for Tucker if they don't get anything. This could definitely be a scenario where they just try to run the football, maybe a draw with Lamar. If they can make some magic and get a first down, so be it. But if not, set up Tucker for a more manageable field goal range, because 3rd and 16 is a low percentage play, and you want to end the half getting points. 24 seconds left in the half. Play clock's down to 5. They send Likely in motion. Lamar going to throw again. He's back at his 50. Looking around, ducking. The Chase Young's threat. Now Lamar's going to run on the left side. Cuts it up the field. Here comes Lamar. Houdini's on the open field and running to the 11-yard line. Timeout Ravens. Lamar Jackson turning back the clock to 2019. All the way up to the 11. I thought he was going to take this. Oh, he starts his drop back, and he's at the 50. He's able to duck past Chase Young, which is tough to do. Then he's looking. He's running up the left sideline, makes Fred Warner miss, and then he turns back up to the middle of the field all the way to the 11. And now Baltimore, you can go a shot play here. That is the just wonder of Lamar Jackson and the marvelous aspect of him. LaMarvelous, they call him. Scampering it up to the 11. You just sit back and watch. Sometimes you're like, man, this guy's electric. Ravens still have a timeout. They could probably go to the end zone here twice if they want, right? Twice to the end zone. They have a timeout. I mean, even if there's a guy open at the 3-yard line, throw it to him, hope he can run in. But 26 pass attempts for Lamar in this game. It's been something, but when you got a player like him, why not? From the 11. Niners sent 4. Lamar looking to throw, backing up. Got to be wary of the clock. Throws to the end zone. Too tall for Zay Flowers. And that probably just sends on Justin Tucker. They gave it a go. It's going to be now a chip shot field goal for Justin Tucker, as he's going to be able to nail through his 3rd kick of the afternoon or night. That will be the final play of the first half. Just 4 seconds left in the half. Ravens about to go up 16-12 if Justin Tucker can hit this kick. It's been a fun game, fun first half. Justin Tucker kicks under 30 yards. He's 105 for 105 in his career. Surely he hits this, or do we jinx him? Tucker from 28 yards out. No doubt about it. He's got it, and that ends the first half. Ravens 16, Niners 12. If you just tuning in, this is the recap. It started off, first drive for Baltimore, 3 and out. And then they fidgeted with possession. Ravens got it back after a Kyle Hamilton pick from Brock Purdy. It was 1st and 10 for the Ravens at the 8-yard line. Lamar stumbling, going back. Left side, trips over a referee who fell. Safety off the intentional grounding penalty, 2-0. Niners. Off the ensuing kick back to him, they get a field goal with Jake Moody, 5-0. And then Baltimore able to march it down, get a field goal, 5-3. Purdy was picked 3 times in the first half. Brandon Stevens able to pick Marlon Humphrey. That gave the Ravens the 3. That's 2 picks for Purdy. Another pick for Purdy allowed the Baltimore Ravens to get in the end zone with Gus Edwards on a 4th down. Then San Francisco marched down with Christian McCaffrey and scored themselves. Baltimore got a field goal with Justin Tucker. That's what we got at 16-12. I'm going to take a break, rest my voice for a little bit. We'll be back in a couple minutes with the look in for the second half. I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes, guys.